welcome to HR Corner, and today Mummy and I are going to make another scented embossing powder card. Today we're going to make chocolate embossing powder, and we're going to use this new puffy embossing powder, and we're going to show you how to make wobblers. So let's get started.
So Maddie and I have lots and lots of techniques to show you on this gorgeous wobbly bunny card. So first of all, I want to start with the inside. It's not something we usually do, but we'll work from the inside out today. So I'm just going to move my supplies outwards slightly. And the first thing we're going to do is our scratch and sniff on the inside of our card. So this is our card base, and I'm just going to firm that crease up a little bit. It didn't go in very well. So this is an 8.5 by 11 Nina Desert Sand cut in half. And I'm just going to pop my magnets on there. And this is going to be my inside leaf, so I'll just flip it on the inside when I'm done. Now I'm going to do this lovely Gerda Steiner Nerdy Bunny, which really made me laugh. We thought we'd make this card for Daddy. And we're going to do some Easter eggs along the bottom. So in England at Easter, you get a big chocolate Easter egg, not the small little Reese's that we get here, but you get a really big egg. So we're going to make those chocolate like the eggs we would normally get for Easter. And I'm just going to do a happy Easter, and I'm going to do that in black. So I'm going to get Maddie to help me ink up here. Maddie, if you do the Versamark on our eggs, and I'll do my hybrid black on our happy Easter, and we can stamp them both at once. Thank you. And we'll stamp down. And we're just going to do our eggs once more, because that's the bonus of a Misty. And with the Versamark, you can also see if you're missing any areas. So we'll give that a little extra go, like this, and we'll press down and lift it back up. So that's perfect. And we want it to be nice and sticky. So we have started making our scratch and sniff mix here. And I'm just going to move these stumps off because we'll use them again in a short while. And what we have here is I bought some Swiss Miss even, the no sugar added. You want it to be sugar free, because as we told you last time, if it's not sugar free, then you will have lots of problems because it will burn and it won't have that lovely chocolate smell. Now I've mixed this with some Simon Says Stamp rose gold embossing powder, because it's a really pretty colour. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up, and Maddie's going to mix it here for us. So this is a 50-50 mix, and I made a little bit extra because I might use some after. You can keep them in a jam jar or a Ziploc baggie afterwards. So Maddie's giving that a really good mix around for us, because it will naturally want to separate, and we have a lovely heart in there too. So I'm going to give it one more mix just in this corner here. And kind of as, yeah, it smells of chocolate everywhere in here. So as we go, we want to keep mixing so that we don't get any separation. And we're going to pile it on to our Easter eggs. Then I'm going to get our Easter eggs to go back into this tray. So we'll put all our residual in here. I'm just going to give it a light tap. And there's a little bit in this corner that looks like it could do with a bit more. And you can just keep adding it until you're happy with the coverage you have. I'm just going to get this little bit off my Teflon mat here too, like so. And I'm just going to put this to the side. These are my lovely little embossing trays that you've seen me use before, which I'll link up in the blog post for you. You may need to click the downward right arrow just in the bottom right corner. And so you want to be very careful as you heat this. Keep moving, don't stay in one spot for too long, because if you do, again, you will burn your embossing powder. So we'll just keep moving, keep moving. I'm just going to pick this up a little bit so I can see as the powder cooks. And we'll get that lovely rose gold colour. Here it goes. And then we're pretty well cooked along there. So I'll get Maddi to give it a good sniff and make sure it still smells chocolatey.
It smells of heat and chocolate.
Heat and chocolate is going to burn our nose. So I'm now going to just fold this way because this now creates our card base. So that's our scratch and sniff chocolate element. Now we're going to move on to colouring our bunny. So I've already stamped out my bunny using some My Favourite Things in the hybrid black. And I cut this out using my scan and cut because I don't have the matching dies. And I've got some Copics here for you. I'll list the colours on the blog, but these are the colours that I'm going to use. And we're going to, first of all, we're going to do his glasses. So let's just go over this. This is a toner 9 grey. And I'm not going for depth and dimension. I'm going to go for quite a cartoon geeky bunny. So I'm just giving him that nice thick rimmed outline. Like this. And I'm going to do the same on the other one. This, and I'm concentrating really hard, that's why it's hard to colour and talk at the same time. Like this, and we'll do this off to the side, and then I'm also just going to touch in his eyes to make sure they're nice and black because they look better that way. Then I'm going to take the R11. This is called Pale Cherry, and it's a really nice pink tone for noses. We'll do some pink inside of his ears. And I'm also going to do the paws, the pads on his paws here in the same pink. And we'll also give him a touch in his belly too. I'm just going to go over that edge a couple of times just to make it a little bit darker. So you can get some natural shading using your Copics that way. Now I have 3 shades of grey. I've got a T0, a T4 and a W3. My T0 I'm going to use pretty much everywhere. Just going to kind of roughly colour him in. As I say, I'm not going for too much depth and dimension. I more want a cartoon style bunny for this one because I think he suits that. And we go over his mouth. And by using the hybrids, I can use a mixture of water-based and alcohol-based colouring mediums, and it's not going to make any difference. So if I want to change out to my zigs, I could, or I can stick with something like this. I can add some watercolours. I could go in with anything, which is the beauty of using the hybrids. And this is a lovely bunny grey in this warm tone. So I forgot his other ear. And I'm just trying not to touch that pink too much. I'm going to leave behind the glasses white because I think that's fun. And what I might do at the end is put some glossy accents over those just to make them 3D. We're now going to take our W3 and our T4 and I'm just going to add some little shadows. So this is our T4, so this is going to be quite dark. So I'm more going to add this down here by his feet. I'm going to add a little bit in here around his arms. And we'll just emphasize that pink a little bit more, like this, and around his nose and mouth. And then leaving his teeth white because I'm going to use a little glitter in the end under that too. I'm also just going to add a little bit of W3, warm 3, just to add some flecks of fur. And as I say, this is not designed to be a bunny full of tones and different colours. Fur is something that's really easy to do with some great techniques. That's something else we can cover in another video, and we can do some more realistic animals that way. And we'll add a little bit under his pads. And then I'm just going to go back in with my T0 and I'm just going to blend those extra shades in because I don't want any sharp edges. This is a fluffy bunny and we want him to look all fluffy. There we go. So that's our bunny fully coloured in there. I also want to do his teeth. This is called a Kirorina, I think, Wink. I got this from Simon Says Stamp. I bought this the other day and it gives a lovely pearly white. So I'm going to use this firstly on his teeth. Now the first time you use it, you're going to want to hold the nib in until the ink runs through, and then you can just go ahead after that. I'm also just going to add a little bit of the pearl just on his pads. And I mean, I'm just adding tiny dots just because it's a nice shimmer, and I want to add a little bit in his ears just where I put that pink as well. So that just adds a little bit of emphasis, and the glossy accents will do right at the end too. So I'm going to put him to the side, and now we're going to create our background. So if we put this over by Maddi, and now we want to create something for him to sit on. Now you can either stamp directly onto here, or you can stamp onto some white. I'm going to stamp directly onto the desert sand because I want him to really kind of stand out. And I'm going to just stamp a few of those Easter eggs on the grass as we had on the inside. So these are the dies that I decided I want to use on the inside, and I'm going to fit a sentiment into this one. This is a really lovely sentiment size. So this is going to fit in the bottom here. So I'm going to just make sure everything lines up before I commit to stamping, like this. Maybe even the other way around. Let's just play with it. So this is the thing that you can do, and every sample comes out differently, so I always like to just have a little play around. And lots of you have asked me how I have my process of designing cards, which is why I decided to kind of design this a little bit on the fly with you. And I'm going to, so he's going to be on a wobbler, so it's worth showing you that. You'll have seen Maddi in the beginning of this video showing you our wobbly bunny. So our wobbler is going to go under our bunny here. So that's going to be him, and he's going to want to be sitting in the grass. So we'll have him like this. So we'll call that down here like this. So this is my design process. I grab all my stamps, all my dies, all the things I know that I want to use, and then I kind of play around with it and stamp then as I go. So now I've built that all together, I'm going to just make sure that this piece comes off the edge here. We can put our magnets back down, and we're going to stamp this using some cracked pistachio in the Distress Oxides. So I'm going to use this lovely colour here, and because it's a pigment ink, it's going to show up beautifully on top of here. This, and then I'm going to clean it off. And I'm also going to add in some more pops of details in a moment, so let's just stamp this out first. And I want to work reasonably quickly because I want to emboss this pigment ink, and I'm going to emboss it with something really fun and new that really reminded me of bunnies and some prettiness at Easter. And Maddi's been dying to use this, so I thought it was the perfect to use it on a card she's helping me with. So you've got that lovely green, which you can see. But what we're going to do is we're going to use, don't take the lid off yet, thank you. We're going to use something called Sparkle Puff 3D embossing powder. So it's white and glittery, as you can see here. It's got a lovely shimmer to it. And I'm going to put this in. And what it does is it puffs up as we go. So I'm just going to do this, and because my tray is in use, I'm going to do what I always used to do, just like this. I'm just going to give it a tap behind me, just make sure this gets covered. And what will happen is the cracked pistachio will still show through beautifully. Now we're going to heat this, and it needs a little bit more heating than usual. And you can see it's now starting to cook, it's starting to change, and then I want to heat it a little bit longer. So I'll do half and stop, like this. So you can see that it's popped up, it's actually puffy, it's a little bit more difficult to see on here, but the right hand side has started to cook, but it's not fully there. The left hand side has fully cooked and puffed up. So let's do the other half. So it's a lovely scene here, and your cracked pistachio still shines through, so you look like you've got that green grass. Now we want to do our sentiment. So I'm going to grab a piece of white here, and I'm going to use the Happy Easter again, the same as we put on the inside, like this. And we'll get rid of this stamp over here. And I want to just kind of highlight the pinkness, so I'm going to use worn lipstick in the Distress Oxides again. And I'm going to stamp this out. So you can see that lovely pink tone on there. And then I'm going to grab that die that we had earlier, and I'm going to use a piece of Post-it tape, which I thought I had some here. Here it is. So I'm just using a piece of Post-it tape just to hold this down, and I'm going to run it through my Vagabond. Matt, do you want to just put that over by the Big Shot Pro? Thank you. So I have an assistant here all weekend, and she's been home all week helping me with my videos, which is why you've seen her appear. And we've been doing some fun techniques that she can show. So there's some other scratch and sniff ideas. We did some gummy bears that are strawberry scented. We've shown you we've also filmed one on how to blend lovely hillsides and clouds, so stay tuned for that to come this week. So here I have my lovely Happy Easter, and we can fully assemble our card now. So if you ever get this, that you've heated it and you get this bend in it, what I tend to do, I won't be doing it here for the video, is I take my piece of cardstock, put it in my Big Shot, leave it there for about 10 minutes just as your normal sandwich, and you'll find it'll come out really nicely pressed. So that's how I get mine all nice and straight again for my samples, but for this I'm just going to curl it backwards again. And we want our bunny, and we want our wobbler element, and we need our Happy Easter. So I'm going to pop this up on some foam dimensionals because I want this to be a really fun dimensional card that Maddi can give to her dad for Easter, with a bar of special chocolate that we bought for him. And we're going to stick this down on here, so you can see we've got a nice sentiment at the bottom. And now we're going to put our bunny on. So to do the wobbler, the easiest way to do it is to take the bottom panel first, which is the solid panel, and I'm trying to pick out all the pieces, and we're going to want that roughly in the center. And I'm going to bias it slightly towards the top because I want it to stick to the bunny head. And I love the way he's going to wobble as a geeky, nerdy bunny because, of course, Daddy is doing a PhD at the moment, so for him it's perfect. And we're just going to make sure that we only peel one piece off. Stick that down. And then we're going to stick our bunny on top. So there we go. Now he's nicely stuck down. So you can see that as I shake him, he gets that lovely wobble on there. And he's sitting on his lovely grass, and it's a lovely Happy Easter card. So thanks for stopping by and joining Maddi and I for this fun technique. So we've shown you how to use this lovely sparkle puff. We've shown you how to use a wobbler and do some Copic colouring. We've also shown you how to do that chocolate scratch and sniff on the inside. So we will put a little note up to Daddy of please scratch and sniff me, and then he will scratch and sniff there. Be sure to check out our other scratch and sniff cards and some of our other techniques that Maddi and I will be bringing you during this week. Thanks for stopping by. Happy stamping. Bye!